In 1851, a small but revolutionary piece of paper changed the course of Canadian postal history. Today, we're exploring the origins of Canada's first postage stamp. Before we jump in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll never miss out on our captivating Canadian content. The Three Pence Beaver stamp holds an iconic place in Canada's history. Few people have ever paid attention to it unless you're a philatelist, a stamp collector, or a history lover. In the early 19th century, the development of organized postal systems became a hallmark of modern governance. The introduction of postage stamps, beginning with the United Kingdom's penny black in 1840, revolutionized mail services by standardizing rates and prepayments. By the 1850s, the province of Canada, that's present-day Ontario and Quebec prior to confederation, was transitioning towards greater autonomy within the British Empire. Prior to 1851, Canadian postage stamps bore the effigies of British monarchs and were supplied by Britain. The Canadian government of the time was seeking a more localized and efficient postal service and passed legislation to assume control of its own postal operations. As a result, it began designing and printing its own stamps, with the Three Pence Beaver being the very first. This marked Canada's entry into the global system of standardized postal rates and modern communication infrastructure. The stamp was designed by Sir Sandford Fleming, a Scottish-born Canadian engineer best known for proposing worldwide standard time zones. He was also chief engineer of the Intercontinental Railway and the Canadian Pacific Railway. Fleming was also on the mission to find a route through the Yellowhead Pass of the Rocky Mountains in British Columbia and Alberta. Fleming's design for a postage stamp was a departure from convention. It featured a beaver, an animal deeply associated with Canadian heritage and the fur trade, rather than Queen Victoria. This choice was symbolic. By choosing the beaver as a central motif for its first stamp, the province of Canada was not only selecting a recognizable symbol, but also consciously projecting an image of industriousness, economic strength, and natural heritage. It was the first stamp in the world to depict an animal, and it was also the first stamp in the British Empire not to show a member of the monarchy. It was the first adhesive stamp used in Canada. The beaver is shown reclining on a log in a tranquil river scene, surrounded by ornate scrollwork and labeled with Canada and 3 pence. The stamp was printed in red on laid paper and used line engravings, a labor-intensive but detailed printing technique that provided excellent clarity and forgery resistance. The laid manufacturing process actually leaves thin parallel lines on the paper that are visible when held up to light. The original stamps were imperforate, requiring manual cutting with scissors or knives, which often resulted in uneven edges. The 3 Pence Beaver was printed by Rawdon, Wright, Hatch, and Edison of New York. It remained in use until 1859, when postal rates changed and new denominations led to updating the stamp. Over time, several plate variations and reprints were created, which are today of great interest to philatelists. 250,000 of the 3 Pence Beaver stamps were printed. As only the 6th country in the world to issue a postage stamp, Canada, then still a colony, was participating in a revolutionary global communication shift. The 3 Pence Beaver helped establish a distinctive visual identity for Canadian stamps, separate from British colonial models, and it influenced the way colonies and later independent nations began using local themes in their postage. While doing my research, I did encounter an article which suggested that there is a link to the stamp and to Freemasonry based on symbols printed on the stamp, most notably the smiling sun in the background. With further digging, the only link I could see was that the stamp's designer, Sir Sandford Fleming, was a prominent and high-ranking Freemason. He was initiated into St. Andrew's Lodge No. 16 in Toronto in 1855. He later served as Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Canada in Ontario from 1888 to 1889. Today, the Three Pence Beaver is a highly sought-after stamp by collectors worldwide. Its historical significance, its iconic design, and its relatively short period of use contribute to its rarity and value. A pristine example of this foundational Canadian stamp is considered a cornerstone of any serious collection of Canadian or early British North America philately. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, there are a few things you can do to help support our channel. Give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and leave a comment. Please consider giving us a super thanks on YouTube or buy us a coffee so we can continue bringing you interesting Canadian content. Let us know if there's a Canadian story you'd like us to cover in a future episode. For more videos about Canada, subscribe and ring the bell icon to be notified of our next video upload.